here is a brief overview of the internal mods to the NEXUS Pro that I've done currently. There is a breech blowout 3D printed here that's supposed to help with preventing leaking air with the telescoping. I have removed the trigger lock that prevents the trigger from being pulled when the breech is open. That's a piece that would normally be here. Looks like that. There is a 3D printed smaller mag release and a 3D printed safety delete. And most notably, there is about 9.5 inches of 17/32 brass. This is wrapped in electrical tape, mostly out of paranoia, but it is affixed between these two parts with clear Gorilla Glue. And here is the hopefully relatively quick overview of external-ish mods for the NEXUS Pro. Really the main thing that you can see is this mag release, which I kind of already covered on the internals. And this is kind of internals too. Originally I was trying to go with a 3D printed spring spacer. I wasn't really happy with the amount of pretension that was putting on the spring, so ultimately I just went with a section of PVC. I already had this PVC pipe on hand and I cut it. This is approximately 1 centimeter long, I think, maybe a little more. And then you have the brass out front. Now, why do I want this length of brass? The main reason is I came up with this system for my Aeon Pro and I'm using it here too. This lets me use a 3D printed piece that happens to be snug fit in here. Very nice. This goes on here. And then within that 3D printed piece, I can use the worker rifled barrel. I didn't add it back yet, but I will be putting some tape on the brass to space it better to the interior of this rifled barrel as well. I'm getting an average of 180 to 200 feet per second with this, and the seal in particular is awesome. I didn't time it yet, but there's no leakage. And then there's a nice puff at the end. I do actually seem to have a slight leak in my Aeon Pro, and I'm not really sure why, because the setup is about the same. So I may diagnose that further, but for now, this is pretty satisfactory.